In this video, our guest Michelle Barnum-Smith from EasyBot goes over the most important rules of ranking on Amazon during Q4. You will learn 3 strategies for identifying keywords to start ranking and actionable steps on how to rank on Amazon using external traffic. You can visit EasyBot. It's a software which helps Amazon sellers to implement ManyChat and bot sequences in their Amazon business. You'll find the link below. And this video is hosted by LISETT LEES. She works with different Amazon brands. And as always, if you like our videos, click the like button below and subscribe to our channel.
Hi, Michelle. I'm really happy to have you here today to talk about ranking listings. But before we will hear 2 tips from you, could you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the Amazon space and how you usually help Amazon sellers?
Yeah, Lizette, thanks for having me. So my name is Michelle Barnum-Smith. I'm pretty well known in this space for pioneering the use of chatbots for Amazon purposes. So Amazon seller purposes, launching new products, ranking existing listings, and harvesting reviews via chat marketing, basically.
Okay, very good. And that's exactly why we invited you here today, as we are basically in Q4. And we would like to hear some of your tips regarding how sellers can rank their listings during this time, especially. So I know you have a presentation for us as well. So go ahead, share your screen, and we're ready to hear you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 powerful strategies to help you as Amazon sellers rank your listings for Q4 without blowing through your inventory. Right? That's the hypersensitive area that we're in, as we're seeing. I think Leron Hirschkorn shared a post with me yesterday about like a container ship in actually like Vancouver, British Columbia, catching on fire. So I hope none of your inventory is on that ship. Hopefully it's just hanging out in LA Harbor. But yeah, we want to be able to like rank your listings while also protecting that valuable inventory to save for sales. Now let's talk about sales and let's talk about the opportunity with Amazon. You know, basically, this article talks about how Amazon posted record revenue in 2020's Q4. They doubled their profit, as you can see here, or maybe you can't see. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. In 2020 Q4, Amazon drove over $125.6 billion in sales. That's significant, right? And we're all here because we want a piece of that pie. And we're going to talk about how you can really position yourself for success in this quarter so that you can take advantage of it. Before we get started, though, I want to talk about the rules of ranking, just so we're all on the same page and we understand how ranking works on Amazon. Basically, Amazon determines ranking by a 90-day rolling sales history for the keywords that you are indexed for, your listing is indexed for. Mobile page results, so we're talking about the app sales, mobile page results vary between 16 to maybe 20 results per category, so per page. So some categories have 16 results, some categories have 20, but basically there's not a lot of room for mistakes here. And 70% of sales actually come through the mobile app. So if you think about that, you know, the opportunity is very narrow to get on there. Now, desktop page results vary basically between 20 to 50 listings on page 1 or per page. But once again, this kind of depends on your screen size, that kind of a thing. And like we talked before, most of the sales are coming through the mobile app. Now, when it comes to ranking, it is easier to move from pages 2 and beyond. So basically position 21, 22 to forever away to the bottom of page 1 than it is to move from the bottom of page 1 to the top of page 1. Historically, primarily because, once again, page 1 is where all the action is happening. That's where all the sales are happening. You know, I like to tell the joke. Lizette, what's the best place to hide a dead body?
Actually, I don't know. Under the bed.
So this is like an old marketing joke, and I only have so many jokes. But the best place to hide a dead body is on page 2, because nobody ever goes there. That was like an old Google joke, you know.
But that's a good one. That's a good one.
You can use that. I'll let you use that. But you think about Google page results. Do you ever go past page 1 when you're like Googling something?
Basically never.
Yeah, same, right? We've all been kind of conditioned that if it's on page 1, then that is where the valuable content is, and everything beyond that is just garbage, right? And the buyer, the consumers have that kind of same attitude. So another thing that's important to note is that you don't just rank once on Amazon. There's a lot of misconceptions, and primarily this one is one that I want to really combat today. And that's the idea that the only chance I have to influence rank is during launch when I have a new product. Another one is that PPC is the only way to rank. Or the idea that I'm on page 2 and that's good enough. Remember our dead body joke. Or the idea that, hey, I'm ranked well for these 2 keywords. That should be enough. These are all common ranking misconceptions that we're going to talk about how you can position your listing, whether it's brand new, your fresh brand new product straight off the storage shipping container, or if you are an existing listing and you need to re-rank and better position yourself for Q4. Yeah, here's another one. Once I'm ranked, that will guarantee sales. It's really important to note that ranking and ranking campaigns are all about getting you in a position to rank, but do not necessarily guarantee sales. And we'll talk about how you can kind of combat that here in a second. So how ranking works. Lisette, do you have you ever learned how to ride a bike or helped somebody else learn how to ride a bike?
I have learned myself, but I haven't taught anybody else, I guess.
So I have 2 little girls, and when I and my husband are trying to teach them how to ride their bikes, what are we doing? We're likely holding onto their bike in some way. We're trying to provide stability and momentum as they start to pedal and feel that stability and that momentum and build that momentum for themselves. Now, what happens if they don't maintain that momentum?
They will simply fall down.
They will fall down. There will be cuts and bruises and tears and all of those things. And ranking works very similarly with Amazon as well. When we're running external traffic ranking campaigns with chatbots, what we are trying to do is create momentum for your listing so that you can then have an opportunity with organic sales to rank. But if you cannot convert that organic traffic, then you are going to fall. If you can't maintain that momentum that external traffic provides, you'll eventually fall. So it's really important when it comes to sticking the rank that you put your best effort into your listing. And we're not going to get into listing optimization here. That's not my area of focus, but it's one of those things that I want to make sure that you understand that it's your responsibility to have high quality images, garner social proof for your listing, and also kind of understand that depending on the category you're entering in, there's going to be some competition, right? And to take that all into consideration as you're doing your launch and ranking campaigns. Traditionally, you might run a ranking campaign for maybe 10 to 14 days. But let me tell you, if you're launching vitamin C gummies into the space, you're going to run into some steep competition. I talked to a seller last week who just launched a collagen protein powder. And I got to tell you, as I was looking at the competition with their 130,000 reviews, that I was like, your launch is basically going to be 3 months long. You're going to need to ascend external traffic and supplement with external traffic, because it's not about the rank. It's about the longevity and sticking the rank and being able to have that placement long-term so that you can build some social proof and maybe try to start to compete, or maybe looking at keywords that aren't as competitive. So with that being said, let's talk about keywords, because keywords are really what it comes down to, where we start with ranking. We want to understand where our gaps are and where we're missing out on opportunities with our keywords. Now, I like to run what I call a ranking audit. And this is where essentially you are running a reverse ASIN lookup on your existing listings. So this is kind of a strategy for existing listings. And I bet most of you that I'm talking to right now have existing listings that you would like to improve their performance of. These same kind of tactics work though for new product launches. You just use competitor ASIN information to do the reverse ASIN lookup so you can get kind of some keywords. Now, like we talked about before, page one is where all the action is. In fact, 81% of clicks are on the first page of search results. And remember, those search results are basically like for mobile are basically 20 positions or less, minus, sponsored posts or editorial content from Amazon. So the first strategy is really about getting you from wherever you are that's not on page one to page one. And this is what I call the low-hanging fruit strategy, because it's the easiest one to execute. You're going to start with doing a reverse ASIN lookup on your ASIN, and then you're going to sort based on where your ranking position 21 to like 300 essentially. So you're way off, you're off page one basically. And we're going to identify keywords with a good search volume where you're not ranking on page one for these. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. For this particular seller, he had a really great listing, really great social proof, but take a look when we did this audit, we found like a really killer keyword that he was not even on the radar for. So the two columns, this is using Helium 10, Helium 10 Cerebro tool. You guys can use whatever tool you like to use for reverse ASIN lookups. But basically the two columns we're paying attention to is search volume and organic rank, because we want to identify like where's the action and where are we in relation to that action. Are we missing out on an opportunity here? And you can see these are all really good search volume search terms. And you can see that, in various instances, he's off page one for these. This one, he's just barely off page one for his listing. So this is a relatively quick way to identify, hey, these are quick wins where I can just drive a little bit of traffic and get on page one for these specific keywords. Now, it's also important to note that the first three items displayed in the search results account for 64% of the clicks. So it's not enough to be on page one. You will definitely get traffic. You'll definitely get attention, but it's really about being what we call kind of top of fold or above the fold, which is basically like positions 1 to 10. So once again, you're going to do that reverse ASIN lookup, but this time you're going to sort your search results where you're between position 5 and 20 for ranking. And then you're going to identify some with good search volume. Okay, so once again, the columns we're looking at is search volume and then organic rank. Okay, so right here we have 65,000 monthly searches and an organic rank of 16. So he's on page one, great. But this is a really good search term. It's very applicable to is very relevant for his product. And we need to get him up higher. He's got good social proof. He's got a great listing. He should be able to get in the top 10 and be able to stick it. Same with some of these other keywords. These two are basically like the same amount of search volume, and it's literally what he is. He is a dry brush. So especially when you're ranking for something, a keyword that literally is what you are, you definitely need to be fighting harder to get into those top positions and winning that organic traffic. Okay, so hopefully this is making sense. Hopefully you guys are kind of seeing how to identify opportunities here, both low-hanging fruit. If you have, if budget is tight and you have nothing else to spend money on, do the low-hanging fruit method, because if you're not on page one, you don't even stand a chance. Let me share an example of that. I was talking to a seller who, great listing, things were going really well, PPC costs were pretty low, and then all of a sudden something happened, right, with Amazon. What happens? And his sales just tanked, his PPC costs shot up, and he was just like, what's going on? He was panicking, he was throwing more money at PPC, his sales continued to plummet. And I was like, okay, to me, it sounds like you dropped off page one, because nobody goes past page one. So we did a reverse ASIN lookup, and sure enough, that's what happened. We turned on traffic for his campaign, and boom, he shot back up to the top. Sales took back over, PPC costs dropped, all was well. So if you guys find yourself in similar kind of situations where it's like, okay, sales have been going well, and then all of a sudden they just drop, guaranteed is because you dropped off the cliff at page 1. So if you have no other money to spend on ranking campaigns, spend it on the low-hanging fruit method, because having several keywords where you're on page 1 is going to give you the biggest opportunity to capture those organic sales and move on. Now, we're heading into the biggest gift giving season of the year, and this is a prime opportunity to kind of check out the gifting keywords that may not apply any other time of year. You might not be interested in gift or gift related search terms any other time of year, but this is the time of year to consider it. Okay. Just from an example standpoint. So Christmas gifts, almost 1 million monthly searches last year. These are all pulled from Helium 10. Gifts for men, 5.6 million monthly searches. And the number 1 search term on Amazon during the holidays, gifts for women. Almost 8 million monthly searches in a 2-week period of time. Now, I know that these are all very attractive search volumes, and you might be thinking, I'm just going to add gifts for women, or I'm going to run a ranking campaign for gifts for women if it's applicable. But as the Terminator would say, don't do that. Let's talk about why you don't want to do that. If you were to look up the search term gifts for women, this is what you are going to find. Basically, it's the aisle at like Walmart or your favorite department store that you walk down when you are desperately seeking inspiration on something to give your mother-in-law. It's just all a bunch of random stuff. And from a buyer perspective, from a customer's perspective, this is a great place to go for inspiration, but there's not a lot of conversion that happens here. So what happens if you try to rank for this search term? Number 1, it's going to cost you a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of inventory to even just get on the playing field, right? But because the people here have a shopper mentality versus a buying mentality, then you don't see a lot of conversions, and that organic traffic is not likely to convert because you don't know what people are actually looking for here. They're just looking for inspiration. They're looking for something that's a combination between the right price and unique enough to capture their attention and be like, would my wife like this? Would my mother-in-law like this? That kind of a thing. There's not buying intent. So how do we find gift keywords with that buying intent? Well, my friends, the riches are in the niches. Okay. So instead of going after a search term like gifts for men, if your product is relevant for this, maybe we'll look for barbecue gifts for men. Instead of looking for gifts for women, we will look for beauty gifts for women. You know what I mean? And you're wanting to find those search terms that are obviously, if you're not selling a barbecue product, please don't rank for barbecue gifts for men. It's not relevant. But you're wanting to find those niches that your product serves that have gifts applicable to them. Now, something also to consider are age range gifts. So if you sell a toy, or if you sell, something like that, instead of ranking for Christmas gifts, you're going to rank for gifts for girls 5 to 7. Because if as a mother, I'm shopping like Christmas gifts for girls or something like that, that's going to be like a huge keyword, but once again, it's going to be super random. Might be a toddler gift, a teenage girl gift. This is, once again, very niche and very specific. So I want you to think about those kind of search terms. Now, something to consider when you're doing your gift keyword research, maybe you're using like Helium 10's magnet tool, you're not going to judge the keyword by its search volume, primarily because what happens this time of year is that the search volume will be flat this time of year. So October, we're recording this in October, early November. Right now, most of these gifting keywords are just kind of like flat, maybe a couple thousand monthly searches, maybe a couple hundred monthly searches. What I recommend is you look at the historical data and see, is there a spike during the holiday season, and how high does it spike, right? So barbecue gifts for men, most time is hanging out in like maybe 1,000 monthly searches. During 4th of July and Father's Day and Christmas and the holiday season, it shoots up to over 200,000 monthly searches. So it's kind of one of those things that you have to kind of dig in and not sort and throw away search terms based on the search volume right this second, because what we're looking at here is really cheap ranking. Because if you run your ranking campaigns right now while it's cheap, then you can ride the wave in, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But like I said, you can get ranked for super cheap, and that's a huge opportunity. Okay, so as you can see here, like I said, barbecue gifts for men, usually 3,200, and last holiday season, a little over 100,000 monthly searches. Gifts for girls, usually, I mean, this is a great search term any time of year, but you can see it definitely has a spike in the holidays. And here is beauty gifts for women. I didn't capture this one, but it's, you know, probably around similar, about like 4,000 monthly searches, and spikes up here again. So it's not 8 million monthly searches, but you have in your court that it's relevant. It's relevant. You have higher buyer intent for your niche keywords. And so the likelihood of conversion is going to be higher. So just some kind of different strategies to think about for keyword positioning and ranking campaigns this time of year. Okay, so let's talk bonus edition, when to start your ranking campaigns. So have you ever gone surfing in all your travels?
I have a couple of times, but I would say these were really small waves, not this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like, you know, like South Africa or Australia or somewhere where you like go out and get like, you know, destroyed. So I've gone surfing in Hawaii, which is you know, in my younger years, and I learned that the time to catch the wave is not when it's about to like crest, because then you will like eat it. You will eat some sand, literally. The time to catch the wave is far out. You're watching that wave, you're looking behind you, and you're saying, okay, something's coming. I got to start paddling so that I can catch that wave, right? And the same thing is true with running these gift related, or not just gift related, but like any of these keyword ranking campaigns. The time to do them is right this second, basically right now. Stop what you're doing and run these ranking campaigns, primarily because you can see what is going to happen. So gifts for men, once again, we talked about that. That's like almost like 5.5 million monthly searches during the holiday season. But right before that, it's only 265. Now, once again, I'm not saying that you rank for gifts for men. That still is a massive search term. But you can kind of get pick up what I'm putting down. Same thing for gifts for women. You know, it's just, it's going to crest up here at almost 8 million, but right now it's 432,000. So you look at these for any of those search terms that we've talked about, and they're definitely cheaper, you know, before the holidays. Now, if you try the time, basically what we're saying, guys, is the time to run your ranking campaigns is not Black Friday, because you're going to be chasing search volume as it shoots up. You're going to be trying to catch that wave, just like hemorrhaging inventory, hemorrhaging money, because those costs are going to just skyrocket. Okay, so it's important to run those ranking campaigns and those positioning campaigns ahead of time so that you can ride that wave up and take advantage of all of that volume heading into the holiday season. Now, that being said, I know a lot of you are freaking out because maybe your inventory is in a boat and you're waiting for it to actually get into Amazon's warehouses or FBA. It's not even about getting into Amazon at this point. It's just, can we get it into the country? Can we get it off the water? You might be thinking, I don't know when this inventory is going to be available. Well, have no fear. We've developed some new technology inside of EasyBot, utilizing our EasyBot URL that really is getting some great traction, and we're able to rank things fairly quickly, sometimes within just a matter of like 3 days to get into position. Now, that being said, I don't recommend shutting off your campaign after 3 days, but it gets you up there faster so that you can take advantage of the volume, right? So if you do get it checked in later in November, have no fear. You still have an opportunity there to take advantage of. Okay, so let's review in our conversation today. We know the rules. We found the gaps. Now it's time to take action. Now it's time to run, those ranking campaigns. Basically, my platform is called EasyBot, where we run these chatbot campaigns, they're a lot easier for you guys to do, and we want to make that more accessible for you. So basically how we run our ranking and launching campaigns, you guys can take a screenshot of this, is we identify 4 relevant keywords to rank for. You need to add these keywords to your listing headline. You need to index for these keywords. So Amazon knows, hey, these guys are serious about this. And then you need to set up a EasyBot rebate campaign and drive external traffic with Facebook ads. Now, what's cool that happens here, if you use our EasyBot URL, is it makes it look like all of the traffic is coming from Google. So we're not saying you have to set up Google ads. All the traffic that you drive with and through the EasyBot URL and the EasyBot ranking campaigns, rebate campaigns, are going to appear like they're coming from Google. And Amazon loves Google traffic, especially right now. And that's what we're seeing, some crazy uptake in ranking here. So you're going to start at 5 sales per day per keyword and increase every 72 hours until your rank starts to improve. It's usually around the 72-hour marks that you start to see like the shooting up happen. So you just make sure that you have those sales happening every day. And then ideally run your campaign for 10 to 14 days or until you achieve your desired keyword rank. So we have an agency side of EasyBot as well. We have the platform and the agency. And this is the roadmap. This is the blueprint that our internal teams use to get like the crazy results that we have for our clients. So we know that it works, and we know it'll work for you too. So feel free to take a screenshot and use this kind of roadmap for your own ranking campaigns. Okay, so with that, EasyBot starts at $1 trial, and you can get started at easybot.com. And you can use the coupon, like the code ORANGE at checkout, to save 20% on your subscription there. That being said, are there any questions?
Yeah, I definitely have some questions, Michelle. Thank you so much. Very great presentation with some good energy. And I mean, ranking is essentially a really exciting topic, although it kind of is a little bit difficult for Amazon sellers as well to get everything working correctly, and also, of course, to see the results. So thanks again for sharing your tips how to rank better. So you were explaining the low-hanging fruits tip to us. So you mentioned you should pick keywords with good search volume. So I wanted to ask if you have any tips in order to give to sellers to how they can understand which is a good search volume for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot depends on inventory as well as kind of like your listing performance. So in the examples that I shared with you, that particular client had, really good social proof. His listing was well aged, we'll say. And so we felt comfortable going after those bigger, higher search volume keywords. That being said, we've worked with plenty of clients who have listings who have had no sales for over a year. I mean, a truly dead listing from an Amazon's perspective. No sales for over a year. Remember, the ranking like is 90-day sales history. It's like, nope, no, keep going back, right? And we've been able to run ranking campaigns and basically like breathe life back into those listings and get them in a position. Now, that being said, because those listings have no sales, they have no reviews. And a lot of you might be coming in with like brand new products, brand new product launches. You don't have that social proof, and that plays a huge role in like what products people select. It's not just about position, it's also about social proof. It's about how your listing looks compared to the competition. I was talking to a friend of mine last week. They're looking at buying a beard oil or a beard wash company product brand that's selling, and I helped launch the number one seller in the space, and so I know what that takes to be positioned and to be successful. And I took one look at like their packaging, their images, their social proof wasn't bad. It was old. But I just knew like this doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell, basically like it is going to, can it be ranked? Yeah. But you need reformulation. Product had like really bad reviews about like the product, the ingredients that were being used. The packaging looked super junior league, like just not and I was like, yeah, you can buy this product and you can rank it, but it's not going to stick, So once again, determining what determines like a good keyword actually starts with your listing itself. If you have a brand new product that you're launching, you have no social proof, how competitive the category is, you might start with search volumes that are around the 5 to 10,000 to 20,000 mark. You've got that social proof, you've got that listing quality. You can go for those higher search terms because you're going to be playing with the big boys, right? And sometimes with that also comes like the danger, the danger factor of hijackers and dirty players and, all of those things. So once again, I don't know if does that answer your question? It kind of comes back to like the age of the listing and what you have to bring to the table.
Yeah, definitely. I also wanted to ask about, you said that, for example, one of the tactics is to add those newly identified keywords to the product title. So let's say sellers add those keywords, but they can't get them indexed. So do you have any tips how to fix that?
I'm no indexing expert, guys. So there's things that you can do with like your flat files and like resubmitting those. But we, as an agency, we only focus on external traffic. We just tell the sellers like, hey, just make sure you index for these keywords.
Okay. And was it important to add those keywords, especially to the title, or would bullet points work as well?
Title gets you kind of like the biggest bang for your buck. So I would put like the biggest, baddest keywords that you're wanting to rank for there. Just make sure that you also couple those with a rebate campaign, with that kind of those sales conversions, so that Amazon's not just being like, oh, this is like indexed. It's also, oh, this is relevant. People are finding this and buying it, through these keywords.
So Michelle, what are your, let's say, best tips for sellers who want to re-rank a product that has been, let's say, sitting there for a year without having like good sales? And now they want to, build up the listing from scratch, basically, and start really ranking the product as well.
Yeah, so once again, I would start by doing a ranking audit to see, where are you for anything? From a starting off standpoint, and looking at those low hanging fruit opportunities. I would also take a look at your competition and see, just from like a listing optimization side, like how do you compare? How do you compete? Because with EasyBot and our rebate campaigns, we can get you ranked, and depending on your inventory levels, and how long you want to run those campaigns, you can get ranked for pretty much any keyword. But whether you belong, at the top with the other kind of competitors and the players in the space is where it kind of like begs the question. So I would definitely take some time to have an honest conversation with yourself. We've had a lot of sellers where we, resurrected their listing, and then they, started getting reviews and feedback and realizing like their product's crap. And they killed the listing. They killed it because they were like, we can't, thanks for getting us in a position where we can win traffic, but like we need to work on our product, so.
Okay, very good. So Michelle, if any of our viewers have questions or would like to learn more about how EasyBot can help them to better rank their products, then what's the best way to reach out to you? And could you once more summarize how EasyBot can help Amazon sellers?
Yeah. So once again, EasyBot is a chatbot platform. It sits on top of ManyChat. ManyChat is kind of like what MailChimp is for email marketing. ManyChat is for chatbot marketing. And EasyBot is specific for Amazon sellers to be able to install campaigns very easily, set those up, not have to have technical expertise to understand how chatbots work, all that fun stuff. So like I said, we have a $1 trial where you can test this out and get started. Just go to easybot.com, use the coupon code ORANGE to get 20% off your subscription. And then just start running campaigns. Our $1 trial is 14 days. You can run an entire ranking campaign for $1 with the EasyBot trial. So you can definitely test this out, prove it. Just see how easy it is to use. And the side benefit of driving your own traffic is that you then have that traffic that has become subscribers. You have them as subscribers to your Facebook Messenger account. You get them as email subscribers, SMS subscribers. So if you have additional products, you can go back to them over and over again with future products opportunities. It's really great. It's really awesome to be able to build that list and give yourself the power to re-rank or launch new products and drive existing drive traffic via your audience there.
Okay, definitely sounds great. So thanks again, Michelle, for joining me today, and we wish you good luck in your business.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this video and it was useful. Click the like button if it was. And if you want to try EasyBot for your ManyChat campaigns, check the link below in the description of this video. And here is another video about external traffic where Barkus Patty from Helium 10 shares how to rank on Amazon page 1 by driving external traffic. I hope you will enjoy this video as well.